everybody. We are working on the log work for this thing. Owen's back there peeling our next log, and I'm getting ready to build the entryway. I just spent a couple hours in town with the door and window guy trying to figure out what we're going to do for our entryway, and I think I got a plan. So once the entryway is built, then I could get another one of these logs up on top of it, and then we are going to get this big log that Owen is peeling, which it needs to be like 46 feet long. It's going to start out here a few feet past our entryway. It's going to go through the entryway as a top wall log. It's going to sit on top of that. It's going to go all the way across to that wall. I was just bolting the wall down and realized I forgot to put the seal in there, so lift it back up and get that in there. Go down a little bit. Like that. No, right there. Well, we got the entryway wall built. I knew what size door I was going to build, so we install. So I framed the door, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put here for windows. We're gonna have a gable or an open entryway when you walk in here. So when I frame this gable wall, I'm gonna put triangle windows in here, and I want the triangles to line up with my windows down here. So I'm gonna wait to cut these in for now. I needed to get the wall up here so that I could set a log just like that on top of here. And then once I'm done with that, which is probably as far as we'll get tonight, I'm hoping we'll get that done tonight. Then once I'm done with that, then we're gonna bring this log in here, and it's gonna span from here over that log and into that log and tie all this together. And then I'll be doing another one from here over that log, tying into that wall down there. There's a lot going on here, and I don't do this every day, so definitely having to think about every single step and then 10 steps after this so I don't screw something up. But that's where, right now we're gonna take a walk down to where we got all of our logs stacked, grab I think a 20-foot log. This is a 16-foot wall. I'll leave a couple feet out on each side and start peeling it. Well, we just got all of our walls level and braced off. We got a lot of bracing in here. There. Now, while Owen is peeling that log over there, what I'm gonna do, I have not got this log screwed in from the bottom yet. It's not secure, it's just sitting there. What I'm gonna do, I put a nail down at that end, and I'm gonna pull a string line down to here and get this log as straight with that log as possible and still maintain my 2-inch gap down here. If you didn't see my last video, I'm trying to keep a 2-inch gap in here because I'm gonna have an 1.5 inches of foam on the wall and then 1/2 inch or 5/8 sheetrock. So we're looking for about a 2-inch gap on the inside. And then on the outside, I'll bring you over here so we don't have to hear that planer. On the outside, I'm shooting for 1 inch. We're a little heavy on this end. This tree had a little bow to it, but as we get down there, and it has a bow in the center, it's barely 1 inch in the center. So that way I can tuck my J or whatever. I plan on doing metal siding on this. We'll be able to put our J up in there and slide our tin up into the J. I think it'll be a nice clean look. Well, not sure if you guys can see this or not, but I got the string line pretty much center on the log down there. And then when I get down here, I'm about 1 inch off center. So what I'm gonna do is slide this end of the log to my left, just about 1 inch. Well, the one job that actually requires me to put my boots on and my pants is running the saw. We're going to cut our flat in the bottom of this log so that it sits flat on the wall here. So we're going to snap some lines on it, and then Owen and I are going to grab the saw with the rip chain and get her cut. Now we'll rotate the log to where this is straight up and down with the level. Good. Tiny bit more. A little more. Tiny. So to get a straight line on the log, the only way to do that, you can't just grab the chalk line and pull back and snap it. You have to put a level, or the way that I learned how to do it is you hold a level just 1/4 inch off the chalk line on the bottom, then bring it up, get your level, get your chalk line about 1/4 inch away, and snap it. That's how you get a line where you need to cut. And you can see right here, you can never figure this out where this little knot is. You can see I cut high here and then it kind of drops down. You can never get that without snapping a vertical line in plane with the log. So now we'll roll it and we'll do it on the other side. Little more. Keep going. Right there. Good. So for this log, we want it to stick out past a couple feet. We'll trim that off later where we want. So a couple feet, and then our building is the entryway is 16 wide, but I want to be able to slide my siding up behind it later. So we are going to add a couple inches. So hold it on there. So we're going to go 16 too. Hard part is I got to auger this through there, and this is a skip tooth chin, so it really wants to kick back, so I got to be careful when I do this one. Here now, so now I'll just press this down to that mark. Well, my 044 last night when we were running it, whenever I would tip it on its side to rip a log like this, it would quit running. It would die on me. So instead of fighting that, I have an 048 that we haven't ran it in a few years. We usually use it to actually start an old 1973 snow machine. So that was the last thing it was used for like 2 years ago. So hopefully this thing runs, and it's actually a lot better saw for cutting, ripping trees like this. It's got a lot more horsepower than the 044. So hopefully it doesn't give me troubles. Go up. Hold it. Can you hold it? Go. Okay, right there. Okay, now come way out. Further out. Too far. Right there. Well, good morning. Last night we got that guy up there, and definitely tall. We're gonna end up with a little bit higher floor than, or a higher ceiling to the loft, or floor to the loft, however you want to say it, than I wanted. So I might have to change some stuff up. This is gonna drop down. I'm gonna try to drop this down as far as I can on both of these, and then the rest of them drop them down as far as I can. But basically the bottom of that's gonna be at 9 feet, which my plan is for the bottom of that to be at 8 feet. So I'm a foot higher. I ended up using bigger logs over here than I had planned on using. Really should have changed my wall height a little bit, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to modify the way I was gonna do this, because I don't want to add stair treads, because my stairs come down here to a landing and then they come out into the entry, and if I have to come out too far, I'll be right in front of my door. So I'm gonna get with my engineer today, see what what we'll be able to do here, because I still want to pour concrete up there for a heated floor, and I'm gonna have to get rid of some of my joist logs that I was originally gonna do, but I think I have a plan, so we'll find out if that's gonna work or not. This morning, Owen is getting set up here. Try something a little different with this log. Owen pulled my pressure washer out. We're just gonna see what it looks like when we hit this with the pressure washer. The slowest process right now is getting these logs peeled. And some of this is gonna just get cut off anyway. So we're gonna hit it with the pressure washer, get them cleaned up, and then only peel what we have to peel. If it's getting cut off, we're not gonna peel it. We're gonna cut it first and then peel it. So I'm gonna walk down to our log pile again and try to get the next log in my mind that will need to be going on the wall. Yeah, this is the morning routine for these guys. They love going for their walk down here. Miranda takes them down here every morning, so every time I start heading this way to go look at a log, it's like the highlight of their day. And Oakley, this morning I let him out at 5 o'clock. I come out here to look at logs. I couldn't sleep last night, so I was dreaming of logs. Oakley had a different bark than he normally does when he trees a squirrel. That's because he had someone's house cat in a tree. That's a lucky house cat, because if Oakley got a hold of him, it would not be good. Well, we're down here. I'm gonna start measuring some of these guys, see if there's anything big and straight that I want to use for my other 3 loft logs. Well, this is what we got to work with. That one's got a little bow to it. It's about the right diameter butt that I'm looking for the next log. You can see that guy's really twisted up. This one down here, I think the first 20 or so feet is going to be usable on that guy. A lot to choose from, but man, when you start looking at them, you can nitpick these things. That one's pretty straight right there. Yeah, that's a good looking log. How big is that? $18, $19, $20 that way. That's a nice log. I think we'll pull that one out of there. So we got a little change of plans here. I just cleaned that up right there. There's some damage in the log, so I was trying to hide that in the pantry on the back wall. Well, the next log that we're wanting to put up, it's also got some damage that's going to be visible. So this is a cool log. It's got a little bow to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the living room here. So we're going to get it moved out of our way. And then this log here that we put up last night, you can see it's got a little taper to it. I shouldn't have left that taper there, so I'm gonna take that off. We're gonna bring it to the sawmill and we're gonna cut it to where it's got where it's straight across the top, so that these logs on each side are going over the same size log, and then when I frame my gable wall, it's already flat. Somehow, someone put the blade on backwards. So we gotta flop that around, then it won't do that. Well, yesterday we spent quite a few hours out here and didn't really get a whole lot done. I was struggling. I didn't get hardly any sleep the night before because when we started putting these big logs up here, I realized that I was gaining too much height because of that log right there that I put up. And this one over here. I started with bigger logs than I anticipated starting with, so it made my gain too high, which means it's affecting my stairs, which this house is built around my stairs. So I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. So then yesterday we come out here, I spoke with the engineer, changing the plans a little bit, and I started doing log work. Well, I started doing the log work going off of memory, kind of read through my books a little bit, and I wasn't following all the steps, so we were out here spinning our wheels, getting nowhere. I got some of the saddles cut yesterday. Today, I'm gonna concentrate on that log you see in the background there. There's a lot that goes into these logs. The loft logs I struggled with at my cabin, and I'm struggling with them here because I need to cut a flat on the top. There needs to be a flat on the bottom, and it's just a lot to think about. So today we're gonna take it one log at a time. Hopefully we get multiple logs done, but if we just get one done and it's right, that's all I want. So we're gonna get started on that log in the background. Well, here's the book that I followed when I built my log cabin up the river. I studied this for an entire winter, and I watched this DVD set, and it's been 10 years or more since I've done log work, and I thought I was going to be able to go off memory, and no, that's not going to happen. So this is another thing that he suggests that you make, is a list that you do to every single log that goes on the wall. Every single time you go through this list, and I wasn't doing it yesterday, and I broke the list out, I broke the book out and his DVD set. So I will be following this list today. Well, you can see we got some of our saddles cut in last night. This guy right here, it's all laid out. I got to get the skid steer on the other side so that I can stand in the skid steer and cut these. It is way easier to do this if you lay your saddle marks out and cut it on, take the log down and cut it in the blocks over there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just take my time and try to cut these saddles straight, standing on scaffold or in a loader bucket. Okay. What did I say I was scribing? 9.5. 9.5? we just got this log down on the ground here. You can see my scribe lines. So I'll get this log rolled all the way over and I'll cut my notches out. I got one there and then one at the other end. And then also while it was up there, we marked where it's gonna sit on another wall. So this is a hallway here, and then this is the start of a wall between a closet and a hallway. So this is gonna get cut flat. So I'm gonna snap my line just like we did yesterday. Well, we just got the line snapped for the flat right there. Brad is just gonna darken it a little bit with a marker. And I'm gonna start chiseling these notches so that they can be cut. We chisel the notches to keep the log from splintering while we cut with the chainsaw. I won't do that on the next one. Not bad for the first one though. Well, it's 10 o'clock. We're gonna call it a night. I just got done scribing. You can see up there in the corner. I just got done scribing all the notches for this log. Spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I was gonna do up here. I decided to put a saddle on this side, but nothing on the other side, because there's not gonna be a log going over the top. I'm just gonna have a half log sitting in here. So tomorrow I got to lay out the flats for underneath here for where the wall is going to go, because this is going to lay on a wall. But we're done for the day. We're going to hop on the 6x and take you over to Aaron's house. He's still working on his place. He's finally got a couple days off. He's been working 21 days straight on the forest fire. I think it's 21, but he's been working a lot of days. Getting home 10, 11 at night, finally has a weekend off, so he's working on his place. And then some big news, my son Jared, my oldest son Jared, he just bought another lot just on the other side of my son Darren. So we actually now own from here all the way that way, 40 acres, every single lot. And my son Jared is now clearing his road because he might try to build this year also. So we are busy, super busy this year. Everyone's trying to build. Let's go. Quit being a dork. That's going on YouTube. That's what he was working on. Okay, well, we're gonna head over to my son Jared's house. On the way there, we'll pass by my son Darren's house. That is my son Darren's place right there. Oh wow, you got a lot done. Well, good morning. We are getting going on the logs again. These logs are pretty time consuming, especially when I spend 2 or 3 hours a day just sitting there thinking, looking, trying to figure out what I want to do. But today should go a little better. We got that one log in the back there finished. It's in there the way it's going to be. And we're just about ready to bring this log down and make the final cuts in it, and when we set it back up there, it'll be done. So should have that one done in a couple hours, and then we're going to work on this big guy right here. That'll be our last entryway log. And one thing I forgot to mention last night is my son Darren, who's my second oldest, he's building a duplex this year by himself. So all three of us, all three of my older boys are building right now, plus we're building. So it really is a lot of work that we got going on as a family. So, but it's cool. It'll pay off. Well, we got her up there. Turned out pretty good. We got our flats cut in there. Might have to tune them up a little bit, get them a little more level later, but at least we got a start of a flat. We left it open where the hallway is going to be, so this is our main hall. Out here, we had to cut a different, wider flat because we are going to have our exterior wall, which is 10 or 11 inches total right here. So I cut an 11-inch flat there so that my exterior wall will butt up to that. I'll have to notch this out later, but it turned out really good. I did the saddle on the inside so we could do a half log here. And then on the outside, I didn't do a saddle on the outside here, and it turned out good. I struggled with that in my mind for a while. Do I need a saddle or not? And that's what we went with. So we're gonna go find the next log that goes from right there to right above here. Owen's gonna start pilling that, and then I'm gonna start laying out my saddles on this log, and then we'll take it down, and we're hoping to have this one done tonight and the next one prepped for over here.
It's 9:30 at night, and Scott got this log scribed and all the saddles put in it, and we're going to take it down. But before we do, we're going to put this next loft log up on the wall, and then we'll take down this log. Here's the third loft log that we're putting down. We are going to move the truck so it's a little bit closer to this big log. Okay, we got it down off the wall, and now Scott can cut out the notches. Me and Owen chiseled the notches, and then Scott comes with the chainsaw and chainsaws them out so they look like this. Owen is just sanding some of the rough branches that are on the log.
This is called brushing. You can see how I slowly work out to the chisel line, and because we chiseled the log, it will not splinter. Well, we're getting back at it. This will be the last day of this video. I start my night shift tonight, so we'll see what the next week brings. But for today, we're gonna try, Owen and I, right now, we're working on getting this last big log in there. It's another entry log that goes all the way through the whole building here. got the 044 back this weekend. The rewind broke. The rope got stuck out and I didn't have parts to fix it. So it's Monday. We ran into North Pole, Black Hawk, saw shop. Got it put back together for me so I can finish cutting these saddles. I use this saw instead of 026. The 026 just isn't manly enough.
This log got the notches cut out and it is ready to go back up on the wall. The saddles put in this loft log. Scott is marking all the notches and we're going to get ready to take it down with the boom truck and get all those notches cut out. So we got the notches cut out. Scott and Owen are cutting up.
Well, this is where we're at. It's been 2 weeks. I've had 2 weeks off work, so I've been able to put a lot of time into this. We got our 2 entryway logs done. We just finished putting our last loft tie log in. So all these are done. I mean, I got to anchor them down and run some rebar in them and some lag bolts, but move them around a little bit. But that's a lot of work. And hopefully this, I have to go back to work tonight. I'm on night shift. So this week I will try to get up and accomplish something for a couple hours before I go to work every day. Hopefully we get some footage, but this is where we're going to end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a ton of work, and if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and yeah, we need you to subscribe. See you guys next time.